Welcome to the regular board meeting for the Board of Trustees for the West Ada School District. It is Monday, August 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. If you would all please stand, and Ms. Shepherd will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll mention that one of the trustees is missing this evening, Trustee Redford. It was not able to come, and we wish her well. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are none.
With that, we'll turn the time over to Dr. Bubb for his update.
Madam Chair, trustees, I'll start with welcome back West Ada. Our executive team and several of our district leaders were able to go out to campuses today. Hence the cool bus shirts. We were able to go out and deliver ice cream to our staff, welcome them back. Just a great way to get back into things. I will just give a fair warning. We are about to welcome back 39,000 students to West Ada School District, which means those roads that everybody was really happy with not being busy are going to be pretty busy over the next couple weeks as we try to adjust to traffic patterns and things like that. So thank everybody for their patience. I want to welcome back all of our staff. It's great to have everybody back in buildings. There's a positive energy. There's a lot of work that has been done from a facility standpoint. We've redone some parking lots. We've done some HVAC. We've done some roofing. There's just been a lot of work that goes on over the summertime, and so it allows us to get those buildings ready for the school year, and it looks like that's where we're at. I want to extend a special thank you to the City of Star. So we have broken ground at a new school in the City of Star. We are excited about that opportunity, and the City of Star has actually stepped up and provided a school resource officer for that school as well. So we want to say, with Mayor Chadwick here, I'll just say thank you for your partnership. This has been such an outstanding partnership, not just with this, but with also some of the growth that we're trying to address in that area. Thank you for always being willing to step to the plate and make sure that our kids are taken care of and our community is taken care of. That means a lot. I want to give some congratulations. Ramona Lee was selected as the state special education administrator of the year. So special congratulations to Ramona. And then every year, IHSAA, the Idaho High School Athletics and Activities Association, puts together an award, and that award is School of Excellence. The way that you select that award, it's really based on criteria that is the grades of the student athletes, their athletic accomplishments, and also their sportsmanship across the board. A special congratulations goes to Rocky Mountain High School, who was the recipient of that award this year, so we'll give them a shout out. I think also notable as a district, the second place team, the second place school was Mountain View High School. The third place school was Eagle High School, and the fourth place school was Hawaii High School. So special congratulations to every single one of those schools who not only shine on the athletic field, but shine in the classroom and shine as citizens. So congratulations to them. I'd like to bring up Kristen Hayner, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about summer school and art Clisto.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Bubb, and fellow trustees. Thank you once again for allowing us to come in and spotlight the hard work that happens here in West Ada during the month of June. Our secondary summer school program was in full swing this summer, and so we're here to share some of the spotlights that happened for our students here in West Ada. Let's see, I think I'm supposed to click. Where's my clicker? There we go. Okay. In West Ada, we have some summer learning opportunities that happen for our students. When we look at our secondary summer school program here in West Ada, it is a continuation of one of our 4 corollary questions of how will we respond when students have not learned essential standards, by focusing on gaps in their learning and recovering credit during the month of June. It is also an avenue to provide advanced opportunities for students who want to move ahead in their path to graduation. All of this leads to a West Ada-worthy summer with the astounding success of our summer school program through the dedicated staff members who show up to make sure our students can stay on track for graduation, fill gaps in their learning progression, and continue to earn credits. Joining me here tonight to help celebrate the awesome summer we had is Arturo Callisto, who served as the principal for the in-person summer school program.
Thank you, Kristen. Good evening, Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. Bubb, West Ada colleagues. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak about summer school's impact on West Ada students. And thank you for supporting this program. I was fortunate enough to get a close-up view of this effective program and the learning that occurred there. It was extremely rewarding for me to see how such a hardworking staff inspired the students to work their hardest, earning over 2,700 credits in all. Summer school was very much West Ada worthy, especially for many students who struggled with this content during the school year. Yeah, I don't have the clicker, sorry. There we go, thank you. For summer school, students were given an in-person and online option. For in-person, both middle and high school students attended two-week semesters or sessions. They could also choose to attend one 4-week online session. Students from every high school and nearly every middle school were represented here, including Eagle, Meridian, and Central academies. The staff was made up of a great cross-section of hardworking and innovative West Ada teachers and paraeducators from nearly every middle and high school in the district. Every student was provided with free breakfast and lunch by our dedicated school nutrition staff, who also served the greater community. They did this every day with patience and friendly conversations to our students and community. Meridian Middle School staff were gracious enough to host summer school year, and their office, administrative, and custodial staff were extremely supportive to us throughout both in-person sessions. Our in-person staff communicated daily with meeting the needs of students, whether it was making sure they had someone to guide them through their assignments, look after their well-being, and make sure that they are fed and got home safely. Our special ed and ML team, our nurse, school safety, counselor, and front office and admin staff worked together all day, every day to make sure that each unique need of every student was met. Miranda Carson and Aaron Sweeney and our bus drivers made sure that every student got to and from school safely, and nutrition services showed up every day to feed the community with smiles on their faces. It was amazing to watch how our assistant principals, Brittany Dreisler and Chuck Stuyvesant, quickly built relationships with teachers and staff and supported them as well as students with all logistical and non-logistical issues. Aubrey, Cheryl, and Maureen communicated with families daily and alleviated their concerns about class schedule, health issues, or any other questions that families had. Lindsay Deverall managed all of our technology and school supplies, assuring teachers and students always had everything they needed, and she also provided us with an extremely detailed inventory of supplies for next summer session. Tim and Christy, our security staff, worked closely with our dedicated SROs and admin staff to not only ensure student safety, but provide a positive environment for students. During each unstructured block, I saw them supervising students not with an iron fist, but with smiles on their faces, exchanging jokes and stories. Karen, Nicole, and Angela collaborated daily to make sure that our middle and high school students received the extra help and interventions necessary for their success. All of our paraprofessionals and teachers were open to them coming into classes or pulling out their students for extra help. Obviously, this had an immense impact on student success, as evidenced by our 99% pass rate for in-person summer school. West Ada academies accrued over 200 credits alone with one summer graduate. Students expressed to me their enthusiasm for finally having learned content that they previously had not understood. This was all thanks to the small class sizes and dedication of our teachers to get students across the finish line. Kristen Hayner worked very hard to make sure that we had a great staff for our summer program. She's provided continuity with many great teachers coming back year after year. Her master schedule was built around student need with extra teachers to accommodate the large numbers in 9th grade ELA and 11th grade civics classes, for example. I'm going to turn it back over to her now.
Thank you, Art. For our online program during the summer, this was our 6th summer providing an online option for students. And this was the administrator for online summer school is Mike Hanneman, and his assistant principals were Cindy Grothlandis and Miranda Kinnebrew. They also employed 19 teachers for the summer. Some of the highlights that occurred during our program for online was that, again, we offered asynchronous learning for students. They followed the virtual schoolhouse program in Edgenuity. So students were completing courses within that 4-week period. They were allowed to take up to 2 credits also during the summer, just as in-person do. They just are a span over a 4-week period. Teachers were available to meet with students online, or not online, excuse me, in person if needed. They could meet online through Microsoft Teams as well. They do offer that option for students during regular school hours. Virtual schoolhouse teachers can always come to the site where in-person is being held if they wanted to meet with a student if they felt that was necessary. We have lots of collaboration occurring with in-person summer school with online to support all summer school students. We share staff with registrar, counselor, nursing, special ed if needed. Online had 1,646 students that enrolled. They accommodated 373 students with IEP 504 ML students. 2,512 credits were attempted. 2,329 credits were earned with a 93% pass rate for our online kiddos. And again, it shows you the online grade breakdown with the heaviest occurring in that 10th and 11th grade level, which is what we would expect to see for an online program. Also there in the in-person was our middle school. We had 9 teachers and support staff, again, that was shared with the high school in person. We had 21 students who had special services that were all met with shared services between special ed and ML and 504. We were offered small classes for our middle school students with 55 credits attempted and 55 credits earned, 100% pass rate for those middle school students as well. When we look ahead to the summer of 2026, because it'll be here before we know it, we're looking to, again, have a 4-week program over the month of June. We have a very dedicated staff that is excited to come back. I was just speaking to Art. We always send out a survey asking staff members if they want to return. And just like the students who we talked to about day 8, 9, or 10 for in-person, they always say, gosh, that actually wasn't that bad. And we're like, we know, right? And you got a credit, and you were able to maybe stay on track, and you learned some content that maybe you struggled with before. So we're looking forward to the summer of 2026, and we appreciate the support that the board provides in letting us continue to offer this program for our students. Are there any questions or comments for us? I'm sure Art could take
Any
some.
comments or questions? It's wonderful work you do. It's fantastic to hear how many kids are thriving and succeeding and having opportunities. And thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, with that, it takes us to patron input. I'll just remind everyone that regarding patron input, we want to keep it to 2 minutes, and we also want to make sure that we keep it to those high-level conversations that are about policy and procedure and not about individuals. With that, we have one person that has signed up, Ms. Carmi Scheller. If you'd like to come up, introduce yourself and to what you'd like to speak to.
Chairperson and board and Dr. Bubb. I am a teacher at Star Elementary, and we just hosted our meet and greet, and all 32 of my current students that are enrolled showed up. And when I went to navigate the hallway, it was remarkable how tight it was, and I'm just very, very grateful, and just want to express on behalf of the staff our gratitude to Mayor Chadwick, to all of the members of the operations, and all the teams that were involved in getting the portable in the process and getting that in place as quickly as possible. I personally taught in the corner of a library until October waiting for a portable. So to have this action happen this quickly is remarkable and will make a difference in the year that those students and teachers will have. And knowing that the new elementary will be here for 2026 and that it'll be named tonight and we don't have to keep referring to it as the new elementary is very exciting. And I just want to thank you for all of the roles you play, all of you, in that work.
Thank you so much. That'll conclude our patron input. I am open to a motion on consent agenda. Trustee Benetti,
I move that we accept the consent agenda unanimously.
is there a second? Trustee Buckland?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. That will take us to our old business. I'd like to invite up Mr. Marcus Myers to introduce 502.8 for a second reading.
All right, good evening, Madam Chair, Trustees, and Superintendent Dr. Bubb. Policy 502.8, cell phone and personal electronic devices, and its associated administrative regulation comes before you as a revised policy in second reading tonight. As a reminder, the only substantive change was the addition of language that provides disciplinary consequences for infractions. This addition is required by statute. The administrative regulation revision better refines the school day through the start to the end of school when students may not keep cell phones or other personal devices on their person. No suggestions for revisions have been received since the first reading, and with this, I'd share my appreciation for you and stand for any questions or further considerations you'd like the team to consider.
Any comments or questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With that, we'll invite up Ms. Rhonda McDonough to go over 60321 and 60322, please.
Good evening, Chair Frazier, trustees, Dr. Bubb. I also have two policies tonight. Both are a second reading, the first being 60321. There were no changes recommended after the first reading, and I'm happy to stand for questions.
Any comments or questions? Thank you.
Great. The second one then is 60322. Again, the same thing. These were part of legislative changes, but since the first reading, there has been no recommendations for changes. Any questions?
Any comments or questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That will move us to new business. If we can invite up Dr. Dave Reinhardt to talk with us about the naming of the new elementary school in Star.
Madam Chair, Honorable Trustees, Dr. Bubb, it is my distinct pleasure, I'm going to do an air click. Thank you. Another one. To let you know of the work of our committee, the naming committee for the new school in Star. As Carmi mentioned, we certainly have a need, and we formed a group per policy. It was made up of Trustee Benetti, who represents that zone, Mayor Chadwick. It was made up of a teacher, Carmi, and the Star principal, Todd Adams. We worked through a number of names. Those names were of historical importance, they were of local importance, and they were, and some road names. We worked through that list and ultimately went to the community for more input. That input started with three names: Independence, Beacon Light, and Foothills. After that, Foothills had a low voting percentage, so we went back to the community with Beacon Light and Independence. The committee had recommended the name Independence because in 2026, the year will open the doors in that school. It will be our nation's 250th birthday as a nation, or as some people call it, the semi-quincentennial. And in order to mark that moment, and in order to mark the fact that we're part of a nation that has a flag in front of it, and it is a nation that unites us, and we're going to celebrate that birthday together, we recommended it. Originally, the community, as you see, largely recommended it as well. 300 or 3,311 votes to 857. And at a later date, the mascot and school colors would be determined by the district administration. So it would be our recommendation then from the community and from the committee that Independence be considered as the name of the new elementary school in Star. I will stand for any questions.
Any comments or questions? Trustee Benetti?
Yeah, I just was wondering, what is that, 250 years, what does that stand for again? Can you say that?
Madam Chair, Trustee Benetti.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at my notes. Semi-quincentennial.
Well done. That's just a general comment. Thank you very much. Thank you for your help. Thank you for the committee. Thank you for everybody in Star. And yeah, I'll be supporting this proudly for our nation's birthday.
Any other comments? Vice Chair Zuna?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Reinhardt, I saw that the mascot and the colors are going to be determined by district administration. Can you talk about that process, or is that coming back in front of the board? Or when will that
It
decision
isn't
be made?
called, there's nothing in policy that calls for that.
Okay.
And we've not yet begun that conversation.
Okay,
We can engage and make a determination with you at that point.
thanks.
Yep, absolutely.
Other comments or questions? Trustee Benetti?
My understanding is that historically that's done, when you say district administration, my understanding is that's done at the local school administration level and not at the district level. Is that, do we know historically how that's worked, or, and if you don't know the answer, that's perfectly fine.
Madam Chair, Trustee Benetti, I believe it's been done a number of different ways depending on the size of the school. High schools, people get, the community is more involved than they have been historically in elementary schools. But I do believe it's been done a variety of ways.
Other comments or questions? I just want to thank you for the work of including our community in it. I think it's fun for something like this, for everybody to be involved. I mean, where it's 521 money, and we sure appreciate the legislature again for giving that to us. It's still lovely to have the community involved in participating. I think it makes it their school. I think it feels more like a hometown, and I love that. So thank you, and I will be supporting it tonight.
Thank you.
Other comments? All right, with that, I'm open to a motion. Trustee Benetti?
I move that we name the new elementary school in the city of Star Independence Elementary.
Is there a second? Trustee Buckland?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent.
Go Eagles.
Yay, we have a school. That's so fun. All right, that will take us to our policy manual reorganization, which will be explained by Ms. Nikki Shevers.
Chair Frazier, trustees, Dr. Bubb, tonight I am presenting our proposed policy manual reorganization and efforts to better realign our policies with West Ada's current organizational structure. Cameron and Josh, if you could post the organizational structure for our viewers at home. In addition, if anybody is so inclined, they can go to our website. They can click menu and click our district and see a copy of our organizational chart that way as well. You can go back to me now. The work is part of our ongoing commitment to keep our policies clear, current, and easy to navigate for our stakeholders. This reorganization directly supports our strategic plan priority of teaching, learning, and innovation. Our goal is simple: to ensure our policy framework celebrates and supports the way our district operates today, reflecting our growth, progress, and the exciting work happening across West Ada. We have been systematically reviewing the policy manual in numerical order. To date, we have completed our initial updates to sections 100, 200, 300, and 400, most recently with Mrs. Sanander. Before moving on to section 500, we saw an opportunity to organize and streamline the manual structure. This will ensure a clear, consistent framework is in place before we update the content of the policies and their corresponding administrative regulations, or ARs. As we moved into upcoming sections, we also evaluated whether each policy was in the right place and whether section titles accurately reflected their content. In some cases, they did not, so we took the opportunity to recommend reorganizing and renaming certain sections for better clarity and alignment. This step will bring a greater clarity in organization, setting the stage for updating policy content and administrative regulations so they fully reflect our current district operations as well as meeting Idaho Code requirements. Administration is recommending 2 proposed changes this evening. The first is renaming of the sections. Cameron and Josh, can you show the whiteboard to people at home? So you can't see the whiteboard, but you have it in your board memo. I'm gonna go over it and then I'll flip the whiteboard for you. So the first is renaming of sections. Sections 100, 200, and 300 would stay exactly the same. Section 100 would not be renamed. It would maintain the name mission. Section 200 would be Board of Trustees, and Section 300 would be administration. For Section 400, it's currently named staff. We would recommend the renaming to that section, calling it human resources, so that it better fits our organizational chart. Section 500, we would change from students to student success, so it better matched our organizational chart and covered topics that Mr. Myers oversees, which are safety and behavior, CTE, special education, health services, student support services or counseling, activities and athletics, alternative education, attendance, enrollment, and schools of choice. Section 600 is currently titled Educational Program. Mrs. McDonough oversees that. We would rename that to Teaching and Learning, covering curriculum, instruction, data-driven response, Title I, and federal programs. Section 700 is currently Auxiliary Services. We would rename that to Operations, which Dr. Reinhardt oversees, which includes transportation, school nutrition services, facilities, maintenance, and procurement. Section 800, we would rename from Business Operations to Finance, which I named you doctor, congratulations, which Dave Roberts oversees. Section 900 would now be called Communications and would house all of the communications and community relations policies. Section 100 would be a new section in policy manual, which Mr. DeLashman in the back, our CTO, would oversee. Section 1100 would be renamed to compliance, and section 1200 would be dissolved entirely. That's our current regulatory adherence and guidelines sections. I'm gonna flip the board now so that people at home can see what we're actually physically moving. Too much. Cam, does that work? Okay. Sorry, there's a lot. Okay, so our second recommendation is what we call a lift and shift. This simply involves moving policies to their correct and corresponding sections after those sections have been renamed. No policy, and this is important, no policy or administrative regulation content has been revised, updated, or altered in any way. The policies are simply being relocated to a new section based on the recommended renaming. So this reorganization does 4 important things. The first is alignment. It matches our current organizational chart. The second is clarity. It makes it easier for staff, families, and the community to find the right policies quickly. The third is efficiency. It eliminates outdated titles and redundancies. And the fourth is consistency. It strengthens our governance framework so decisions are based on a logical, streamlined policy structure. Tonight, administration recommends that the board approve this policy manual organization as presented in two motions. One for the renaming of policy sections and one for the moving of policies as a result of naming and consolidating sections within the policy manual. At our next meeting, we'll share specific policies that will be moved between sections to align with our organizational chart and updated section names. We thank you for your support in keeping our policy framework clear, consistent, and reflective of West Ada's mission, and we will look forward to continuing this work with you. I am happy to stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments? Trustee Benetti?
And we're recommending this as a first in action simply because all we're doing is just moving and retitling things. There's no content change, and by getting that organizational structure in place, we're able to do the rest of our work more quickly without no fundamental changes. That's why we're recommending first in action.
Other comments or questions? Vice Chair Zunick?
Thank you. I don't see the policy numbers listed for the lift and shift. Do we need that online?
Trustee Benetti has a motion that outlines specifically the policies and the ARs and to what their read numbers are.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And that'll be in the
It'll be in the meeting minutes as well. We've already provided the clerk that.
Perfect. Any other comments or questions? That was very impressive, your flip with the board, by the way.
I've been practicing all day.
Vanna White would be very proud. All right, with that, I am open to a motion. Trustee Benetti?
I move that we rename the following policy sections accordingly. Section 400 from staff to human resources, Section 500 from students to student success, Section 600 from educational program to teaching and learning, Section 700 from auxiliary services to operations, Section 800 from business operations to finance, Section 900 from business building and sites to communications, Section 1000 from community relations to technology, Section 1100 from communications to compliance, and remove Section 1200 as a section.
In one breath, very impressive. Is there a second? Trustee Buckland?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. I'm open to another motion. Trustee Benetti?
I move that we rename the following policies accordingly. 900.00 to 710.00, 901.10 to 711.10, 901.20 to 711.20, 902.10 to 7112.10, 902.20 to 7112.20, 903.00 to 713.00, 904.00 to 714.00, 905.01 AR1 to 715.01 AR01, 905.01 to 715.01, 1001.10 to 901.10, 1001.20 AR1 to 901.20 AR1, 1001.20 to 901.20, 1002.10 to 902.10, 1002.20 to 902.20, 1002.30 to 902.30, 1002.40 to 90902.40, 1002.50 to 902.50, 1003.10 AR1 to 903.10.AR1, 1003.10 to 0903.10, 10103.11 to 0903.11, 1003.30 to 0903.30, 1003.40 to 0903.40, 1003.50 to 0903.50, 1004.10 to 0904.10, 1005, 1.110, 10 to 0905.10, 1100.00 to 0910.00, 1101.00.AR1 to 0911.00 AR1, 1101.00 to 0911.00, 1102.00 AR1 to 0912.00 AR1, 1102.00 to 0912.00, 1102.10 to 0912.10, 1102.20 to AR01 to 912.20 AR01, 1102.20 to 0912.20, 1103.00 AR01 to 0913.00 AR01, 1103.00 AR2 to 0913.00 AR2, 1103.00 to 0913.00, 1103.10 to 0913.10, 1201.00 to 1100.00, 1201.00 AR1 to 1101.00.AR01, 1201.00 AR2 to 1101.00 AR02, and 1201.00 AR3 to 1101.00 AR3.
Houston, we're ready to launch. All right. Is there a second? And I dare you to say that all again. Trustee Buckland.
Second.
Is there any discussion, any deep questions? There'll be a quiz before you all get to leave tonight. All right, seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. With that, we will give the floor to Miss Amy White to go over our new policy 203.02, our agenda for our meeting.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Trustees, and Dr. Bub. I'm pleased to say there will not be a lengthy motion after my presentation today. This is just a presentation of a first reading of some amendments to policy 203.02, the agenda for regular meetings. As you will see from the materials before you, this is in our typical pattern of a
green underline for new language, and a pink or red strike through for what we are removing. This process started due to the amendment of Idaho Code, specifically through Senate Bill 1007A, which amended Idaho Code 33510, which previously for public input, matters had to be on an agendized item, and now they have broadened the scope that it can be on any subject matter, so long as it is a matter appropriate for open session and not executive session. So you will see from what we have are proposing before you, in the listing of agenda for regular meeting, we have added good of the order. And then there underneath, we have a procedure outlined for governing procedure for patron input, governing procedure for adding a new business item, as well as governing procedure for good of the order. In the first two sections is quite simply just a bit of cleanup on the language. There is no significant change as far as what is occurring in the content contained in each of those sections. Just simply that patron input in that first section is intended to be input on matters for which there will be action taken during the board meeting, because that is required by code. And as you have explained in your new agenda template document that is distributed at each meeting, the governing procedure for adding new business, again, is just clarifying that requests must be directly related to school district business, only related to matters which may be addressed in open session, and then the process for making the request through the clerk of the board, and the process for the proposed action for the board to consider. The governing procedure for good of the order is the new section. As you will note from our top listing, we have that further on in the meeting process. And simply put, that is the area in which any member of the public can raise any matter for public input that is not related to an agendized item. The bullet points thereunder are contained in the statute itself, that patrons must reside within the district, state their name and address, and thereafter we are requesting that they present in a respectful manner, not refer to any student or employee or executive session item, and have a period of at least 2 minutes to present their public comment. This is intended for a first read tonight, with the intention of bringing it back for subsequent readings. And with that, I would stand for any questions or suggestions on amendment.
On number 6, it says, under governing procedure, it said patrons shall have at least 2 minutes to present their public comment. To me, that kind of implies they need to speak for 2 minutes. Can we change that to up to 2 minutes?
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Trustee Benetti?
It's also the same provision is under the governing procedure for good of the order, so the last bullet would also have to be adjusted just to make sure that they're consistent. And I think it's also worthwhile, bringing up that while historically the statute that governs both public input and this new good of the order, the statute has actually said that you must reside within the district to do that. Historically, that has not necessarily been the case. We have had a more broader open forum, but this policy would actually constrict it to those who are residing with the district, who of course have a financial and stake in the education of the kids, as well as taxpayer position. So that is something that's new, and it's worth just bringing up for clarity, just because change is always difficult, even if it's something that we should have been doing the entire time statutorily. Still, pointing that out so that people are aware that that living within the district is a requirement for this moving forward.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, we did not have anyone sign up for the good of the order this evening. Are there any future agenda items? Oh, pardon me, Trustee Benetti.
May I have a good of the order item?
Absolutely.
For the good of the order, I would just like to congratulate our board chair, who had a marriage of her daughter this past weekend. And that's a good of the order item, so congratulations.
That's lovely, thank you so much. All right, are there any future agenda items? All right, I'm open to a motion to adjourn. Trustee Benetti.
Angie's not here.
Trustee Redford is missing.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? Trustee Bachman?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. We will adjourn at 6:38 p.m. Thank you so much.